Well, today we are going to put together a brooder that will hold about 100 chicks for the first 2 weeks. Your package will come in about 2 boxes, and this is the first box that we're going to work with. You will have 3 panels, clear panels. This is the feeding and watering stations. And you have a clear piece here that will come off after a while. That just protects the coating on it so it's not scratched during shipping. You'll have 2 panels here. This will be the top panels. That will be a cover to hold the birds in. This is a panel that will hold the heating element on the bottom of this, and we'll show how to assemble that here in a moment. You should have a package of bolts. This is the back panel of the brooder that will have a sliding mechanism so you can open and shut to get to the birds in the back. And then your controls will mount to this. These are some brackets that we'll need to assemble. This is the wire floor that the birds walk on, and this can be taken out each time to clean and disinfect. And this is our the clean out tray, which goes into the brooder. The droppings fall through the wire onto the tray. We'll talk about it and show some examples later, but it's recommended to put newspaper down, maybe sprinkle it with a little bit of lime or horse stall dryer, and that'll keep it dry and sanitized and keep the smell down. The second box will have 3 trays. Your instructions will be in here with that. And you will have a thermometer for the back part. This box has the heating element, the cord, the wafer for the temperature control. Here's the control that goes with the wafer. The heating element will be mounted. We have 2 heating elements here. I think they have a 250 watt capacity. We have 2 areas for a little red bulb. One bulb kicks on when the heat is activated, and the other bulb stays on constantly, kind of as a night light, so the chicks can see to eat and drink. After a couple of weeks, I recommend to unscrew the one bulb, the night light, unscrew the night light. It will lessen the stress on the birds so they can get a good night's sleep and wake in the morning. The first 2 weeks, though, it's recommended to keep that night light on. Okay, the first step we want to do is identify out of these 3 pieces, we want to start out with these 2 side pieces. The one way to easily determine this one does not have any metal attachments to the bottom, so we want to set it off to the side for right now. These 2, this adjustable panel here goes to the outside. And then this metal part right here, this is going to go to the back of the brooder where we're going to attach our first back piece. This side here, we have the metal piece that goes to the back. And then of course we have this sliding bracket for the feeder. Again, that goes on the outside. And then our back piece looks like this. The yellow decal should be on the back side, not on the inside of the brooder. So we're going to take a screw, or a bolt I should say, and a nut. And this is a Phillips screwdriver. The bolts are short, and they also have a nut with a little locking mechanism, so they do not work their way loose as easy. It's best not to tighten up the bolts and screws, or the bolts and nuts tight until you get everything assembled. That'll give you a little leeway so they all slide in the holes All right, so these two are just kind of snugged up to hold it in place. Then we're going to move on to this side and do this. Okay, so the back is snugged. We'll come back and tighten that up later. And we use 4 bolts and 4 nuts that have the little locking mechanism that goes up against the metal, so it locks it in place so the bolt will not work its way out. Okay, the next step we'll be working on the front of the brooder, and we need to find and identify these 2 pieces here. This is a top bracket and this is a bottom bracket. And we're going to move this brooder over just a little bit. This is the bottom bracket, and it has a little sleeve in here. This is where that clear panel, similar to this one, will slide on the bottom to help keep it in place. So we'll put this bolt, we'll screw it on and just do it loosely, so we'll come back and tighten everything up when we're done. Then we have the top bracket to the front of the brooder. It looks like this, has 2 triangle support beams on it right here. And again, it also has a little track in here that the front panel can slide on as a guideline. I've found with putting bolts and nuts together on small items like this, if you can just take the nut, put it flat or flush against the bolt, just kind of hold it there, hold everything straight, and then take your screwdriver. It should start well without cross threading and just go right on in. And again, we're just snugging it up. So we're completing the top of the bracket. It's all snugged up, held in place. So that completes our box part of the brooder. Okay, our next step is to try to align the box so it has the right amount of clearance for putting in the wire floor and also taking the wire floor out. The top part is where the wire is totally across, and then the bottom part should be the little beams, and they protrude down, so they'll be downward. So what we want to do is take it and we want to just slide it in. And we want to just drop in there. If it catches on any of the bolts or the rivets, what you want to do is just pull your sides out. So we'll pull them out because we have our bolts that aren't real tight yet. So let me just loosen those on the back side just a little bit. So we want to just push that out, extend it, and then we're going to tighten these bottom bolts up pretty snug. And then when we have them snug at the bottom, what I found, just take your pinkies, stick it in the wire, pull up, and see if it comes out relatively easy. When you go to insert it, there's 2 brackets or 4 brackets on the back side that will kind of help stabilize the heating element. So you just got to get it back here to clear them. Slide it down. Drop it in. And then what you need to do is just since it's not really aligned up real good right now, just make sure that it falls into place okay. And if you want to try it again, take your fingers, pull it out, and then you can just slide it in and make sure it drops down on the support beams okay. The next step is to tighten the top parts of the brooder. We kind of want to make sure it's pretty well squared. So there's a couple of ways you can do that. If you have a big square, you can use that, or you can use the tray pan. You could maybe put this on the floor, look at it to see if this is pretty well lined up. Looks like it's pretty well square, level up. Other ways, you could take the pan, put it on the top, lip it, put the lip over, see if it's up against this, all the way around. If not, you can kind of tweak it in or out. And you can also look at the spacing down through here and the spacing down through here. If it looks all about the same, the unit's pretty well squared. So I think we have a unit that's real closely squared. So we can tighten the top 4 bolts. The next step will be to find this panel here. This is a support panel for the heating element and the lights, and it will fit right along here. And there are 2 brackets right here that will help it to keep it from sliding this way or that way, to kind of help it stay in the right place. So we want to locate this panel. Then you will want to find the box and get the heating element out of the box. And the unit will fit right here. Just let all this hang off to the side for now. And you will want to get some 3/4 inch bolts and nuts. So we should have 4 bolts, and we will want to bolt the heating element to your panel. So now we have all 4 bolts and nuts on the panel, the aluminum panel, holding the heating element.